I didn't realize I was destroying my own life until it was already too late. I'm Kayla. I share my healing journey in real time, the messy and honest version, in hopes to help you along yours. I was at a complete breaking point in my life, to the point where I genuinely wanted to die every day. But I had my son that I couldn't leave. So I had turned to pretty much feel like I was dying every day. Because I would just go away and I didn't have to feel all the horrible, traumatic things that were inside of me for so long. I had refused to deal with so many emotions and things that happened to me because I thought that's what it took to be strong. I thought being strong was just pushing through things and, not thinking about them, and you just keep on going. You don't know how you are, but you're just doing it. I thought that's what strong was. And I was very wrong. At my lowest point in life, after I had had an extreme amount of trauma, I had been brutally sexually assaulted when I was a teenager that I had never dealt with, which turned me towards using substances and partying, which created even more trauma and more things that just took its toll little by little in my life. And everything got extremely bad after the father of my child had cheated on me with my best friend. After that, I had found my other best friend passed away in his home, followed by getting into a relationship, an abusive relationship, with a severe addict, and having that trauma escalate, and then losing a lot more people from addiction that I had really cared about. And it had spiraled so bad, I had ended up starting those two substances because it was just such a horrible time for me, and I didn't know how I was going to make it out. I was not a good mother to my son, and I didn't even realize it. I was trying my best, but I was so broken at that point that it was falling onto him, which is a regret that I will have for the rest of my life. The emotional, physical, mental, and psychological abuse that I was going through every single day as my life slowly just was falling apart more and more had just destroyed me in a way that I didn't know was possible. I was alienated. All the money I had saved up, he had taken, and my car was wrecked. I lost my car. I was living at my mom's house. My addiction had completely taken hold of me, and I still didn't even truly realize it because I still thought that I could fight my way out of it the way that I had in my past with other substance use. Because every time it got like a little too out of hand, I would go ahead and stop with no problem, but then I would always end up switching to something else. So I had just never really seen myself as an addict or an extremely broken, trauma-filled person. And then I had filed for a PFA, and he had ended up going to jail, not for the PFA, for other reasons. And it had been a few months where like I really thought that I could pull myself out of it. I had a friend of mine at the time mention about the way I would yell at my son. in a very brutal way, but it opened my eyes to where I really started trying. Like, I really started trying to fix the issues inside of me and work through narcissistic abuse, looking up how that affects you and all the things that happen chemically in your body to try to figure out what was wrong with me, and how it affects you in that way. And then one day I woke up to the police raiding my house. It was truly the worst day for me. I had gotten caught with a lot of things, and I knew I was not getting out of this. Although my addict brain still hadn't fully comprehended that yet. And I had already started going through withdrawals because I had not gotten to use before they broke into my home. I had never been in trouble before, so sitting in the jail cell, in the hole, withdrawing, trying to come to the realization that I was in jail, that I had lost my son and my family, and literally everything I had in life was gone. That was an extremely low point for me. The next morning, when I woke up and realized it was my reality and where I was, and the withdrawals kicked in even worse, that was an even lower point. The turning point for me wasn't one specific moment. Like a lot of people say, they had this aha moment, or in the movies where it's like, something happens and it was like a huge turning point. I guess you could say the entire situation was a huge turning point for me, but a lot of the times it's not for people. It's a decision that you have to make. So the turning point for me took me a while. The first few months in jail, it was me being a victim and boo-hooing and why it was everybody else's fault. And, I wasn't the one that did anything wrong. Still thinking I didn't need help, and I was getting off of it myself and all of these things, right? And then I was facing a couple years in prison, and I had never been away from my son. When the emotions died down from that hit, the only thing that I could cling on to was, if I have to be away from my son for that long, I want help. I need to get as much help as possible and come out the best version of myself humanly possible. And it was in those moments where I realized I really did need help, that I was an addict and I needed genuine professional help. And then by the grace of God, I ended up being offered the drug court program, which helped completely save my life in every way, and everything they did for me, everything that I did to utilize that program, truly take control back of my healing, is why I am where I am today. Today, I am no longer the addict that is too far gone. Today, I am the person that probation calls when they have participants that need help within the program and need to feel inspired and have someone really talk to them who's been through what they have went through and come out on the other side. I'm now someone that uses my experience to inspire others and push through others, that no matter how dark life gets, that it's not the end. It doesn't have to be the end for you. I am someone who has my son full time, who has been rebuilding her life with a successful business, a happy relationship, a home of my own. I have 3 years completely clean and sober. And today my life is filled with so much peace and happiness and just true joy in so many little moments because of what I did with my healing. And I am not anywhere where I want to be. I have so much further to go, but I am no longer the person that I once was. And I hope that my story and the things that I share with you that helped me get to this point are really able to help you in your own healing journey, able to find that true peace and happiness that you deserve, because you truly do deserve it. You are worth it, and we are more than capable of experiencing it. It's not about where we start in our journey, it is about the journey itself and where we go from there.